Hey dolls, welcome back and thanks so much for spending part of your day with me. If you're new here, my name is Amber Michon and I do weekly DIYs, hauls, and other fun things. If you're not new, hey doll, hey. So I recently put a poll on my YouTube channel page, whatever, asking what kind of videos you guys wanted to see, because I did in my last video said that it was going to be my last fall, but I wasn't really ready to give it up. That's why I asked you guys, and you guys answered and said you're ready for more fall or a little bit more fall. The second place winner was some farmhouse decor, so I kind of tied both of these together. So it's a fall DIY video, but you can also use these for everyday farmhouse decor around your house, except for the ones that are explicitly fall. But a few other things you can exchange out, take off, totally up to you. But I absolutely love how all of these turned out. I'm super excited to share them with you. A couple of them I've been wanting to do for a while, so I'm excited. I hope you guys really like it. If you do, make sure you give me a big thumbs up because it definitely helps out my channel. If you haven't already, go ahead and consider subscribing and hitting the bell right next to it so you're notified every time that I upload. All right, dolls, let's go ahead and jump right in.
Is this what you want now? Feels like you're looking for something better.
So for our first DIY, these are the items that we're going to be using. The 3-piece sign that says Grateful, Thankful, Blessed from Dollar Tree. Some poster letter stickers from Dollar Tree as well. And then from Hobby Lobby, I found this burlap paper, scrapbook paper. I saw a couple of people have them before, and I thought that I had to get them. So the first thing I did is painted the letters white that I'm going to be using for these signs, and then remove the ribbon off of the back of that sign. And yes, you guys, for this video, I'm actually going to be using Mod Podge. I use Mod Podge for this one because one of my subscribers, my really sweet subscribers, she told me that if I use Mod Podge, because I hate the glitter that Dollar Tree uses, then I could, get it to stay down. So that's what I did. Then I went ahead and took my scrapbook paper and traced out the shape of each of these signs. And then I used, I used my glue stick for this one to put these on. And then I took the poster letter stickers off and then placed them how I wanted them. And then I had this really cute red truck ribbon from Dollar Tree. I actually got it last year and I haven't really used it much for anything, but I thought it would be really cute to use for this DIY. So I cut it down to size because I didn't feel like using all of it, because I felt like if I used it all, it would waste some of them that wasn't shown. The pieces that wasn't shown, I know, my mind, right? But anyways, I just hot glued it down to have it one piece of ribbon, the look, and then a piece at the top to hang. And I absolutely love this. The way that the burlap scrapbook paper looks off of this and then the white letters popping, it's so pretty. I love it. For our second DIY, you're going to be using these burlap leaves from Dollar Tree. I had the red and then the brown ones. And then this yarn I actually got from Walmart. It was about $1.25, I believe. So what I did is I had already measured out my fireplace mantle area to cut 2 pieces. One is going to be longer than the other, but then you're going to tie, I triple tied or triple knotted the ends of each of the pieces of yarn together. And then you're going to place your leaves the way you want. I alternated the colors. And then all I did was, the first thing I'm doing, I'm just kind of looping them through the hook, because these leaves have like a metal hook that you can, or a wire hook that you can hang it on. So basically I just placed it the way I want it and then hot glued it down to the yarn. Super simple, super easy. Hung it up above my fireplace and it's so pretty. I love this color for this area for fall right now. For our third DIY, this is something that I've been wanting to do it for a while. So these are the items I'm using. This square wreath form from Dollar Tree. They're farm fresh pumpkins, red truck sign with a 25 cents arrow at the bottom, some burlap, and some florals. These are a mix of florals from Dollar Tree and Walmart. First thing you're going to do is go ahead and pop off the red truck from the stick. I tried to do it gently because I didn't want it to like crack or anything. And then what I'm going to do is wrap my wreath form all the way around in burlap. This is what it looks like afterwards. Super easy, and it gets really good coverage so you don't see any of the green wire at all. The next thing that I am doing is going to go ahead and arrange my floral pieces the way that I want. So I first started off with this boxwood floral that I got from from Walmart for 98 cents. And then I'm just arranging all of the rest of the stuff. So the colorful florals are actually from Dollar Tree. I also cut down some pine cones off of some florals that I did pick up from Dollar Tree. So the only florals from here actually are going to be those boxwood florals from Walmart, but everything else is from Dollar Tree, and I absolutely love how this turned out. I've wanted to do a wreath like this before with this kind of insert. Now to attach my pumpkin or my red truck, I just used some twine, hot glued it to the back, and then hot glued it to the top of the burlap. This is just exactly what I was looking for. It's so farmhouse, so pretty, but it's so fun too. I love these bright colors, and the greenery just ties right in with that burlap. For the next DIY, these are the items I'm going to be using. I'm using 2 of these decor photo frames, whatever you want to call them, but I'm just using the glass pieces in there. I'm also using a square dowel rod, this pumpkin from Dollar Tree. Also, I picked up one of the calendars from Dollar Tree to use a page out of there. The first thing I'm going to do is take the glass out of the frames, and then I'm going to go ahead and measure out my dowel rods. So I have both of them together on this table. If you can see it, it's kind of hard to see on video, but they're together like, what is it, hamburger style or whatever. Anyways, I measured that out, then cut those down with my miter saw, my hand saw, or whatever miter box thing this is called. And then the next thing I did was go ahead and paint those dowel rods. I wanted to have a nice clean color, so I painted them white using my chalk paint. I'm going to set those aside to dry, and I mean, they don't take long to dry, but then I use this calendar from Dollar Tree. It's the one that says Shine Bright. It's the one with all the florals that on each page, and I'm using this Thankful and Blessed page. And then, so I'm just going to go ahead and rip that out, and then I'm going to trace my pumpkin over that. So when I traced this out, I also went in between the lines because it's cut, you know, down each side. So it's 2 lines that you have to do in between each of those. One way you could kind of do it is just take each piece off and then trace it that way. That would probably be maybe fastest to like cut it down, because it took me a little while to cut it down because I needed to make sure that my lines were straight and everything. So if you do this, I would probably recommend taking the pumpkin apart first and then tracing it out. But then I just cut that down to size. Once I had all my pieces, I took off the metal part, and then I placed my pieces on there. Now at first I thought I was just going to place all my pieces right on top of the actual picture that it was, but I didn't really care for that. I was afraid that it might see through it, and I just wanted this to, look, really high end and kind of store bought. So I went ahead and painted the top of this pumpkin white. And don't do what I did. Don't paint it before you take it apart. So take it apart first and then go ahead and paint it. So I had to take it apart as it was still wet. But anyways, I took it apart and then realized I wanted to go ahead and put them on the back side. So after I took that apart, I went ahead and sanded down the parts where the staples were, because it's actually stapled, not just hot glued. And then after that, I am using my glue stick and going ahead. So I lied. I'm not using Mod Podge for the whole video. I'm using glue sticks sometimes. But then I just go ahead and smooth that out on each piece. I did actually a pretty good job with the tracing on this and cutting it out. Not too bad. But yeah, just slap those bad boys on and you're good to go. Then for my top piece, I am going to do something different with my stem. I found this pine cone outside and I'm going to go ahead and tear off a bunch of the pieces. I'm trying to get as full of pieces as I possibly can with this because I want to just go ahead and hot glue those on the stem. I thought this would be really, really cool and fun texture to have on this. Once I started doing it, I realized doing that front side just did not work for me. So I tore off the top piece of that paper. I can't use it, but I mean, I just wanted, when I glued this on the glass, for it to glue nicely. So I went ahead and hot glued all of my pine cone pieces down to my stem. I did have like a little, just kind of like a wavy way that I was doing it, but choose what you'd like to do. Choose whatever, thing that you want to put as the stem. You could paint it. But I thought this would be really cool, and I actually really, really do like the outcome of it. So after I hot glued all those pieces down, I actually lost the footage, but I did paint the bottom of this top of the pumpkin white. Now next, moving on to my glass pieces and my rods, I'm going to go ahead and hot glue them together. So that's basically what I did, is I hot glued them to the long pieces to the side, so that way they were both touching the glass pieces, and then that way they would stick on there. And then for the smaller pieces, I went ahead and hot glued them to the sides of the long pieces. I really hope I'm explaining this correctly and the way you can understand, but I know you can see what I'm doing. Then the next thing I did is arranged my pumpkin pieces on top of this glass piece, and I went ahead and hot glued them all down. And then to have more support, to make sure my two glass pieces would stay together, I found this like particle board from a sign that I had a while back, and I just went ahead and hot glued that down right to the middle of both of those glass pieces where they meet. And I absolutely love how this turned out. It's so pretty. I mean, I have a little bit of cleaning up to do, but a little Windex will fix all of that. But I absolutely love, love, love how this turned out. Next up, for my last DIY, and probably my favorite, I'm going to go ahead and take 3 packs of these 3-pack of 5-gallon paint stir sticks from Lowe's. You can also get them at Home Depot. And what I'm doing is just going to cut down the handles on all of these. I'm also using the 1-gallon sticks from Home Depot as well. And then I'm just going to go ahead and line those up to make sure that they are all straight. Did a pretty good job of lining them up and making sure they were the same size. A couple of them were a little bit longer, but it wasn't too big of a deal. But so then the next thing I'm going to do is just go ahead and hot glue those together. I lost the footage of all of this too, but it's just hot gluing them together on the edges. And then these are what the 3 pieces look like. And then so you have 3 sets of 3 paint sticks. So then one is going to be the bottom, and then the other 2 are going to be the sides. So all you're going to do is just hot glue those bad boys together, one on top of the other, right on the edge. And then I went ahead and took my smaller stir sticks that I cut down to size. I measured these before I cut them to make sure that they fit the width of what this crate is going to be. So I'm just doing 3 on each side because I really like how a crate looks when it has kind of those spaces in between. So you're going to hot glue the one to the bottom, then hot glue the one to the top, so that way your middle one has really good spacing. Next thing I'm going to do once that's done is go ahead and take my Waverly chalk paint in white and go ahead and cover this completely. I only did 1 coat. I didn't do 2 coats. It got really good coverage, but I really wasn't looking for just a, flat white color. I wanted some of the wood to show through, and I absolutely love this. Also painted the insides, but not the bottom inside. Next, I took this farmer's market page from the farmer's market calendar from Dollar Tree. It's that first page to go ahead and adhere it to my crate. You can also use the rub-on transfer stickers or letters as well. I thought about using that, but I didn't have enough letters. So I cut out all of the pieces that I wanted to use. And yes, I am using Mod Podge again. So I went ahead and covered the pieces completely, the pages that I'm putting down, and then did a generous amount on top. And that's pretty much it. I mean, it's super, super easy, super simple. I absolutely love how this turned out. This is another DIY that I've been wanting to do for a very long time, to have a nice centerpiece on my table. But yeah, this is how it looks from the front. And then I also did the back, so that way it's a 360 crate. Next, I'm going to take some antique wax and go ahead and distress my crate. I'm so happy that I found this paint, y'all. I've been looking for antique wax color for the longest, and I went to Hobby Lobby a couple days ago and I finally found it. So super excited that I was able to incorporate into this. What I did with my dry brushing is I actually dry brushed heavier on the actual word in the page pieces. You'll see it in a second, but it looks so good. It looks like a cool shadow. So then next, to fill this up, I'm going to take a bunch of my Dollar Tree bags that I have too much of, some Spanish moss. I'm putting the Spanish moss on the sides for, vision purposes when you see through the holes of the crate or the openings of the crate. And then I have my bucket of handy dandy greenery that I have a lot of, and some pumpkins. I just got some pumpkins from Target's Dollar Spot and Hobby Lobby. So I'm just kind of arranging everything the way that I want. I then put some boxwood picks in there. I just kind of take them off of the stems and place them in there, and I really love how this turned out. Like I said, this is one that has been high on my to-do list, and I'm so excited that I actually did it, and it looks so good, so high end to me. Definitely something that you can go and buy in the store and make look so pretty. Alright dolls, that's all I have for you today. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to give me a big thumbs up. Let me know in the comments below which one is your favorite, if you have one or if you have more. And yeah, I will see you all in the next one. Bye!